Hey to everyone who's watching. Today we're gonna take a look at Overloop, which is a CRM and kind of all-in-one platform. So let us dive in. The first thing that I read of the interview of the founders, the CEO of Overloop, is that for us, the carrot means don't take yourself too seriously or always have fun with what you do. And I feel like they do. I feel like they do. The site itself is very lively. The colors are bright, like a bright purple and all, and these very typical now, but still appealing cartoonish designs also kind of make it a bit outgoing and fun. Also, what else I was going to mention? Yes, it's a all-in-one solution. So they have, I'm gonna show you right here. So what do they have? They have cold email campaigns, so like outbound. They have inbound options like web forms and chat even, and like visitors tracking, so things like this. They have a LinkedIn extension that kind of gets information for people from LinkedIn, like email address, and and a CRM. So they have a pipeline with deals. So it's kind of indeed all in one what they try to sell us. Um, then I wanted to mention the pricing model, which looks to me a bit too complex in terms of, well, the amount of points. So I'm scrolling just right now and showing you how much information you have to work through in order to kind of figure out which plan is best for you. And I get it that there are a lot of interesting things that they have, and then they want to make sure that people realize that they have them, but I'm not sure that the pricing page is the best for that, because it's really, there's a lot of text, there's a lot of small text, and the decision is not easy to make when you have so much to scroll through. Like the few of the pricing points that I saw is the integrations. So like Salesforce and HubSpot could well be the competitors of Overloop, because they're also CRMs. So I kind of understand why they don't want to easily give it to people on the smallest plans. So only people who are there and more advanced and pay more and probably more likely to stick around to Overloop. And also, like the small customers that are not willing to pay much probably won't have Salesforce anyway. So this is one of the pricing points that I noticed. And of course, the one that I also think is the best, professional services. Very often people need hand holding and advice and things like this. So I think it makes a lot of sense to to charge more for it and to make it available for free, not make it available for like starting plans and things like this. And but the thing I found interesting that I don't think I have seen anywhere else is the amount of custom fields that you're able, well, the pipelines. You can only have one pipeline on light and five in unlimited, but also the amount of custom fields. Yes. So basically, it's I guess it's the first time I see this as a price point. So the amount of fields you can create to further customize your outreach to these people and have more information stored for them. So this is here another pricing point, which is something interesting. Yes, but the prices, I would say, are pretty modest for everything that the tool has to offer. Okay. As I said, I really like the vibe of the tool, and it's really it's present everywhere. Like I was just signing up, and here's the infamous email confirmations tab. Yeah, we know it's boring, we know it's unpleasant, but it's pretty cool that this human tone persists through the whole experience. This is pretty cool. I, for one, completely buy that. I have a lot of respect for people who are able to make their tools sound human. This is the part, of course, that not many people will like, and neither did I. You have to give in your credit card details in order to continue further to the tool, and for the trial, yes. So this is the trial version, yet you have to give your credit card. And we all know why it happens. We all know that you ask for this credit card details to make sure that if I forget to cancel my trial, I'm going to get charged. And this is something that I don't find too cool, because it's good if people want to use your product consciously, if they want to buy it, not if they made a mistake not canceling it on time. So yeah. Okay, so as I said, several options the tool offers, and one is this website chat, form, and visitor tracking. So it's for the inbound things. In the light version, you have it branded, so you can see it like here, powered by Overloop. But if you get on the higher paying tiers, you don't have to have it branded, and it well tracks information, and it brings these people who interact with your form or your chat to the inbox here. So it's pretty handy that you get well the all this information right away in your inbox, and you can reply from here, or you can send an initial message as well. So that's how it goes for the inbound. um, Outbound, yeah. What I didn't really like is that, okay, I got to this Outbound thing and they have campaigns and workflows. I don't know yet the difference. And I came here and it's like, oh, it's empty here. Yeah, it is. So it would be cool if there was some sample data to make sure that I like, okay, this is a workflow. This is a sample campaign. Maybe I can use it somehow, or maybe I can see the example of how it works. For a new user, that would be super, super useful to kind of had this easier start. The thing I really liked is that when I created this campaign, this first campaign, it was all the settings I needed for it were on one page, and this is super. Like I didn't have to go to email account, set up this page, and sex schedule is that page. Everything was in one small page. The campaign set up, and I think it's pretty cool. And another thing that I really liked about these campaigns is that given that the tool is all in one, many different profiles of users will use it. There could be some even marketing. There could be SDRs, just sales who work with their pipelines. So different people. And for all these different people, there will be a different criteria for success, that the campaign is successful or this or that is successful. So I like it that, for instance, you can disenroll contacts from the sequence when they click on a link. Yes, so for marketing, that could be already okay, our job is done. Yeah, well, of course, obviously when they reply to conversation or when they start a conversation themselves, if it's again like a marketing thing more. So I really like it that this sequence, kind of this campaign, tends to the idea of when the sequence is done from different perspectives, right? Okay. The campaign builder is pretty powerful, and I like the this conditional aspect of it. So if the contact has LinkedIn, we interact with them on LinkedIn. If doesn't, we try to call. It makes it all easier because you will never have all the needed information to outreach your contacts. So this definitely makes sure that you build as something that can be workable. And I also liked, I'm gonna show it here as well in these workflows, is the amount of notifications. This is also pretty cool, and I don't generally see it this much, but you can get notifications for all kinds of events, and it could be internal email just to you, or internal SMS again just to you. In app here you can get a notification. If I didn't connect Slack, but you can get a Slack notification, which is again super cool because you stay on top. You get the notification where it's most relevant to you, and you can act further. So this is a pretty cool step. And for the actions, they have like the tasks, nodes, deals, updating fields, looking for email, or enrolling in a different workflow, as for instance this workflow is done. Well, and for the conversations, they only have automatic email, which I feel is not too much for a strictly outbound tool. That's not enough. Would be good to have maybe automated SMS as well, or LinkedIn. But well, as for all-in-one tool, I guess that's understandable. And here you can select these conditions. You can move to step, and you can set delays for as long as you need. So I would say that this builder is pretty handy. And as for so that was a campaign, and now we're taking a look at the workflow. And what I really liked is that they have these pre-made workflows, because again, in the beginning, I didn't know, okay, what's the difference? Campaign, workflow, what do I use for what? And when I tried to create workflows, they already had these pre-made workflows that I could click and say, yeah, that's something I could use. That's something that's relevant to me. That is definitely useful. As for tasks, Honestly, not impressed. I think there could be much more done on tasks. Now it's an action, like a to-do task. You can also have a call task, but there is no opportunity to actually call. It's still just a reminder. You cannot call from the product. You have to call with your phone or some other tool you're using, and it's like a manual email task. But I feel that since they already have an extension for LinkedIn, it would be useful to have some LinkedIn tasks as well, at least not fully automated, because I know it's a pain to automate LinkedIn, but at least partly automated, because LinkedIn is pretty hot right now and a lot of people do their outbound there. And I'm a nerd when it comes to features that are not exciting. It's not your selling point if you're a sales manager and you're trying to sell Outlook. But this is something I, as a product manager, have a soft spot for. So I really liked that they have three entities. So they have a prospect, they have a deal, and they have an organization. And when you upload a CSV file, it already creates an organization and a prospect separately, and all these types of fields pertain to a particular. So for instance, a city, country, state, it's for contact, but company name is for the organization. So you have it very clean, and it's very structured, that all the information, for instance, company wise, stays with the company, or in your organization, in the Outloop's case, very nice and structured. Another thing that was pretty cool is that you can right away, based on the values in your CSV, add people to the pipeline. I found it also very efficient. So for instance, everyone whose title is, we can say, I don't know, CEO goes to pipeline 1, stage 5, for example. I don't know. Time saver, really. And another thing, now people tend to care about their deliverability more and more. So I find it pretty cool that they have this option to verify prospects' emails in the import file right away, because you don't want to get bounces. And to have this option that you just pull one toggle, and you know which one of the list are valid emails, and you can feel safe outreaching them, is definitely a very handy thing to do. And another thing that I found very cool is that, so inbound, outbound CRM, but also prospecting, yes. So Outloop, Overloop, um, tries to look out for these emails as well. So you can enroll a list of people, and if you don't have their email addresses, you have a very handy button right here inside the platform that you click, and the search starts for the email addresses that you're missing. And not only do they have it on here on the main kind of prospects page, but also while you're creating a prospect manually, like you're putting in the name and things like this, you can click find email. So if you don't know the email right now while creating this contact, you have this opportunity. Also a very nicely strategically located button, I would say. And the confidence, yes, the confidence of this verification and of the search. There are people who are willing to risk a bit more with their outreach if, for instance, they don't really care about the email address they have right now, and they have several of them, something like this. They can accept this risk of reaching out to someone who is not 50-50, yeah. But there are people who are very conscious about their deliverability and about their like reputation and things like this. So for those, maybe even 80% would be more suitable than 66. So I find it a very respectful way to let your users define where they want to risk it or not, and you provide information in accordance to that. So very nicely done. Integration wise, as I said, they are mostly available on the highest paying plan, but Zapier and API are available anyhow. So what I liked here is that in the HubSpot integration, also in Salesforce, you are able to set up the source of truth, as we call it. So if you have some conflict, if in Overloop the same contact has a different value for the same field than in HubSpot, you can choose a priority kind of platform. So you know that, for instance, in HubSpot, all the information is definitely correct, but in Overloop, it might be not so. Then you said that HubSpot is your source of truth. And if there is any difference, then HubSpot wins. So it is how it is in HubSpot. I find it very cool because it can create endless issues if you have different values in the same field for the same contact. It can sync over and over. So this is very cool. Again, a bit nerdy, but a very useful feature. And here another thing about HubSpot, they send kind of emails to, they sync emails to HubSpot, the ones that you send, not the replies. But there is no way to kind of track activity on tasks and calls. And I'm sure that if an SDR does calling, for instance, heavy calling, or create like fills out tasks and does tasks, they would want it to reflect in their CRM. And if HubSpot is their CRM, they would need it there. So this is kind of a missing point, let's say. And another thing that could be added to the integrations is filtering rules. So we can, for instance, sync contacts, so an Overloop contact to HubSpot contact, but it will be just everyone. Yes, you can map the fields, and that's very cool, but there is no way to filter out, for instance, based on open. So I only want people mildly interested in HubSpot. So if they opened in my email in Overloop, then I want to send them to HubSpot. That we cannot do right now. Or a filter, for instance, by the owner, so only my contacts, or by location. So okay, only people from North America I send to HubSpot with this batch. So the filtering is not flexible. You just get everyone syncing back and forth. Another thing that I liked on the Salesforce integration is that you can specify the lead source if you're syncing leads. And I think it's very cool, again, for possible reporting. Salesforce has a lot of options where this lead source could be used. So also nicely done for involving that. And the thing that is less good for me is that this you can select the entities on the Salesforce side. I'm going to show you, but you cannot select anything on where is it? Sorry, anything on the Overloop side. So what do I mean? When you go to an integration, and for instance, we go use field mapping. Yeah, field mapping. And I want to say that on Salesforce, I want to create an opportunity. And here it's already Overloop contact. But actually, I want to create an opportunity out of a deal, not out of a contact. But I can't do that. So the Overloop's side of the integration is already predefined. And I don't think that's necessary. I think it will make more sense that you can select, for instance, the entity on Salesforce side and the entity of on the Overloop side, and then map. Yeah. Another thing that was pretty useful, I think, is that so to the prospect in Overloop, there are two possible variants, lead or contact. And to make sure that the same contact in Overloop does not create two entities in Salesforce, you get to choose one, which is also pretty handy because you can create a lot of mess if you would select both, and both would be created in Salesforce. So that is handy. And now, as for the extension, you have an option to create the prospect without email. For instance, if you looked for the email, didn't find it, but you still got some information on this contact that you can use in your outreach, especially if you can have a way of getting a phone number or, for instance, just LinkedIn URL and reaching out via LinkedIn. So I think this is pretty handy. And on the bad side, of course, also from I read from the reviews, it does find the emails, but it doesn't find the phone numbers. And people would wish, of course, as always, that the phone numbers will also be found. Another thing that I liked about the bulk search was the extension is that you can save all. So like you can pull up a list and you can save all of them. Find an email, automatically look for the email and save. Or you can go one by one. So if you're more selective and you want to make sure that you don't waste your credits on anyone, you can just, for instance, select the people that you're actually interested in and save them, even during bulk search. So you don't have to actually open every of this person's profile. You can just select in bulk who is most useful for you as a lead. But what it lacks to me is the assignment to campaigns or workflows. So here we have that you can save it to the list, but you cannot save it to workflow right away, which I think is, well, could be added. And also, owner assignment is missing. I think that often in companies, they have the structure that one person is researcher or whatever the name would be for this person, and they go through LinkedIn and they try to pull contacts, and then a contact can assign, okay, so these 100 people I looked for Timmy, and another 100 people I looked for Jenna. But here you can only assign it to yourself, so only save it to yourself. As for the reporting, it's not bad, but somehow I didn't like it. It's maybe a bit just a subjective call here. Talking about reporting on tasks, I didn't kind of find an ability to filter it out by sequence. Yes, I can filter out by assignee, but for instance, if I want to see how my sequences are doing and how many of those things, or if I'm a manager, I want to see how my employees work, yes, so I cannot filter it out by sequence at all. And also, like, there is this is the default view of the reports page, and I was like, weird, I completed two tasks just particularly to see the reporting, and now I can't see anything, and that's because it's a graph. Yeah, so if I were Outloop, I would probably suggest something like this, or some other way of depicting the completed tasks, because this won't give you anything even if you did something. Okay. What I liked though is the compare option. I'm gonna show you right away. So here in Outbound, for instance, you see the replies, the amount of replies you're getting, you get the amount of people you contacted, opened, and replied. And you can here compare with your industry. So you can see that, for instance, this is the numbers of the companies of the same industry. So it's nice to kind of have this benchmark. It's a nice feature, definitely. Um, and yes, and I guess the best part of the reporting, according to me at least, is this revenue report. So it's pretty simple. It gets straight like from your pipeline, but it's pretty cool to see like the percentages. Yes, so when you have a lot of data and you know that from contact made there are only like, if you make contact with 10 people, only one, for instance, gets to the stage of a proposal made. You can kind of calculate and further forecast it for the next quarter or something like this. So this is pretty useful. Sorry, this is pretty useful. This kind of evaluation on deals. And another thing, yeah, and I guess my favorite thing of all of what Overloop has to offer is the deal loss reasons. I think it's this information for companies is crucial as why the deals are won. So basically, you can here add all kinds of reasons why it's possible that the deal was lost, and then in your reporting you can see, like with the revenue here, won and lost deals, and you can see that which, let's say, from all the deals that you lost, due to which reason you lost most. And for instance, if you lost to competitor most, then okay, so what is this competitor, what can we do? Yeah, very very useful in, again, analyzing your business and how it's going on. And now a bit, that was a lot of 24 minutes of what I think, and now a bit of what the users of Overloop think. CRM all-in-one, very complete. This was a typical review that there are for the small companies. It's a very handy tool because there are a lot of things you can do with it. And if the scale is small and you don't have this huge needs, then it works well for you. So see, it's here the person uses it basically for marketing more than for sales. Well, the system is easy, no problems with configurations, and yeah, campaigns and functions. Another thing is the workflows. Yes, the accuracy meters when it comes to finding emails. I really like this one as well. So yes, and here are, come on. And here are some negative feedback. Here about dishonest business. I didn't place it to kind of trash and Overloop. I actually want to support Overloop now and say that this this review here does not say, really does not mean that Overloop is some kind of dishonest business. More likely that sometimes North Americans need a lot of hand holding. So here is very poor customer service because they received only a few hours of customer service because they're based in North America, not in Europe. So if you're planning to work with North American customers, make sure you have support available for them because it can end up like this. And then here it was that this software was great for a long time and then stopped using because of bugs. Well, yes, bugs sometimes happen. You can't kind of you can do your best to make sure there are less of them, but still they're gonna appear some. And here this person mentioned some bugs like pretty slow functions. I must say that I myself also had a bit of a slow side on reporting. So this is about it that I was going to share with you. Um, Thanks for watching. Liked Overloop overall. And yeah, let me know what you think.